Hi everyone, Nubkeks here, and in today's video I'm going to walk you through healing as a Disc Priest on Soulrender Dormazain. This is our first kill, which was, I don't know, a couple hours ago or something like that. So let's go through it. Just as we go into it, can you guys see this? Yeah, you can. Perfect. Cool. So this was the heal plan that I did up. So for us specifically on Disc, again, we're mostly healing around these chains. So we're going to have an Evangelism with a boon. On the first set of chains, we'll have Evangelism with a Shadow Fiend on the second set, Evangelism with Boon again on the fourth set, and then Evangelism with Fiend on sixth. And then we're going to have Barrier on chains 1 and chains 5 as well. So it's a little bit tricky because you're doing a Barrier with your Boon ramp up here on chains 1, and chains 5 is pretty chill. But yeah, that's basically what we're looking for. All right, great. Let's go into... Oh, actually, and here you go. This will also help. And this is a good way to do it up. These timings, in fact, should work for you just perfect as well. But these are my personal timings for ramp-up times. So, for example, 0:40 is when I'm actually slightly slow on this pull on that very first one. You'll see why. But 0:40 is basically when we start the Rapture ramp-up, and I'm being very greedy, and I'm just saving PI for myself here as well. So we'll have PI on first, second, and third ramp-up. We won't have PI back for the final ramp-up. But this is basically timings for the Rapture, and then... you know, about 16 seconds later is when we're hitting Evangelism. Roughly speaking, it's going to be something like that. I think we got a bit of extra time here because we got to do a barrier. But hey, let's go. Let's do it. I might have started it. Oh, there we go. Okay, pull timer. We're cool. So going into it, it's a pretty straightforward plan, a pretty strict plan at the start. Then it goes a little bit more random as we go on. But on pull, we're going to just pre-shield the tank. Then we're going to do Shadow Fiend on pull, actually, for damage, purely for damage. And then we're going to do a free Radiance into our full Schism damage combo. Again, just for a bit of fun little pad. While you're doing this, of course, you can look behind you to see where the wedges are coming from. To move over, we'll put a shield on the tank when they do tank swap. As we move over from that one and then back into a damage combo. Here we're going to delay our second Radiance until this. You can see the glowing unit frames. This is where people get marked with the brands. So by delaying your Radiance until the brands actually go out, they'll take damage from those brands, and it ensures that your Radiance goes on them. This is where my Rapture gets a bit delayed because I want to knock this guy in. And I foolishly put a dot on him instead. So we're actually few seconds late, which is kind of dodgy. But you get away with it a little bit. I'm just going into a PI with Rapture, get an Innervate as well, which should cover both the Radiance. And then we're going to throw down Barrier, pop Evangelism, Boon of the Ascended, do Ascended Blast, Schism, Ascended Blast. And this should roughly carry us through. The Barrier will persist through everything, and just trying to move around, trying to grab those orbs as much as we can. That's from Pelagos, so the Soulbind, and then moving across with the Schism, unnecessarily going too far there to dodge some of that stuff. And yeah, I mean, that's our first big thing, and that's like your major ramp and what it's sort of looking like. Basically, what's happening is that there's 3 chains. Whenever a chain is snapped, it does a huge chunk of raid-wide damage. So the healing plan, you can go back to it at the start of the video if you want, but that basically just ensures that that we have, you know, you've got healing going across all of that. The rough cadence for snapping chains should be 1 chain snap every 3 seconds or so, which kind of lines up perfectly. I'm running actually the bell as well. So, you know, you pop your Evangelism, you pop your bell, and you've got 9 seconds of just big burst healing. Should pretty much carry you through those chain snaps, Sinkswell, Boon, all that sort of stuff. With the brands as well, we're just trying to put them on the ads. Makes them take more damage. Try not to put them on the team. It makes them take more damage. Or it does a good chunk of damage to them. It adds up over time. But honestly, like, this part of the fight, as you can see, is pretty chill. You're just sort of healing the passive damage from the brands. And so long as the ads are controlled properly, there's not much too much going on. I will mention the ads here while we're just doing this dance too, that you could see the main thing I'm hunting for here is I'm going to be near at least one of the ad spawns with Shining Force ready to knock the ad away if the big ad's going to spawn there. Basically, the big ad has a CC immunity circle. If there's an ad that's un-CC'd when that big ad spawns in, it's going to get cast off, which is going to wipe the raid pretty much. So you can help with that as a priest, as a disc priest, by trying to do some knockbacks. Obviously hard to guarantee it because you got no real movement as a disc priest, so you just have to sort of hope for the best. Try be near an ad, or then again, like I did on the first set, you know, you could help with knocking them in afterwards. Again, looking for the cones. It's actually pretty bad spawn. We have to run the whole way, but whatever. And then just generally speaking, what I was trying to do, you know, try to keep your Radiances rolling, Schism rolling, One thing to actually be a little bit careful of, which is a problem we ran into, was that if you don't have knockback, something like these odds are pretty close. So actually casting Penance here, it can spread the dot of your Purge the Wicked onto those little lads if they're too close. It doesn't care if they're CC'd with like a polymorph or whatever. It will dot them and it can break them out early, which can be bad sometimes. Oh yeah, here we go. So 324 was our second ramp up. So we're ramping up here. This is our Shadow Fiend ramp. So kind of nice. Again, I like to throw a Purge the Wicked in between my Radiances just to ensure that I don't miss people. Though I have missed the Warrior at the bottom of the unit frame there, but whatever. Pop our Shadow Fiend, Schism, we're blasting. And yeah, basically just keeping this healing going through. Yeah, I mean your non-boon ramp ups, your non-boon phases are not as strong at all. But it's just better to have Shadow Fiend on there as well, just in terms of GCD efficiency and just spreading out a bit of that healing. Okay, here we go. I mean, there's not too much to say again at this point. We've got relatively low downtime. Oh yeah, I'm actually on a chains here, so you get to see one of the chains in action. Should a Disc Priest do this? Probably not. No, it's really bad. So you got no movement and you're quite squishy. I basically just save pain suppression for myself here. Just to make sure I would live. I actually missed the chain. Here we're grabbing it. We're gonna have to move for the wedges that come. So here we go, moving into the safe space with the wedge. See this pain help running on myself, just so I don't die from all the chain snapping. I'm just running across with some feathers. I don't know. If you're super pro, you could probably throw out some shields and stuff, or like penance as you're running. But it's a little tricky. But yeah, there we go. So that was snapping a chain. Like I said, try to not have to snap a chain if you can. Nearly everyone does, so we actually killed it pretty slowly. So we actually had 6 sets of chain snaps, which is everyone bar the tanks. So I would recommend that I went up. The good thing about going on that set of chains was that I literally have nothing on that one. I'm not doing a barrier, I'm not doing any particular healing, so that's why I went there. So you see, this is our 524 ramp up. So here we're going. Unfortunately, we get brand, which is a pain in the arse, right? But we're going into this ramp up. Call for that innervate, get innervate going. And yeah, we're just doing our ramp up here. It's quite awkward. You're coming out of that dance phase, and then you've got these as well. So just doing the best that you can. And this is a really important one because this is your boon ramp up, at least with my setup here. So you've got quite a bit of healing to do, though we don't have to drop a barrier on this set this time. So we're just doing our boon healing. Again, just trying to pump as much healing as possible to get through those chain snaps. And there we go, we're pretty good. We get a bit of top off healing at the end of some of that. I'm actually, because we're kind of low, gonna throw out a Radiance as well. And again, watching for the torment random wedges as they come. Actually, at this point in the fight, because I had innervate on my first ramp and that third ramp there, we actually are really good for mana. So at this point I was kind of going, boss is like 20%. I've got like a full mana bar. I still have my mana pot as well. So it's like, you know what? I'm just going to start blasting a lot. So this chain set, this is 5. So this is our barrier. Throw the barrier down. They start snapping. You can see with the swirls, it's quite awkward. And it's kind of hard visually to see as well. So it can be a little bit difficult to always stand in the barrier, but just doing what you can. Again, watch for the swirls, trying to heal as much as we can, get out of the brand, watch the swirls. Fun, fun, fun. And actually, this is the first time we'd ever got this far, I think. So I don't even remember if I do get a correct ramp up here. 656 on the big timer is what we're looking for. I'm sort of in position to knock away these ads at the big ad spawns far away. We're going into Rapture. No PI this time, but we're ramping up that Rapture, ready for these chain snaps. So there you go. That's basically what we're doing. Do I remember? Oh, I get brand. So I don't remember if I remembered to Shadow Fiend here. I guess we'll find out. Pop Evangelism. Oh, there's a Shadow Fiend. We did it. We're trying to get the brand on this guy. Probably shouldn't bother. I probably should have just focused on healing and let the other person with the brand get it. I don't know who else had it. I mean, it probably wasn't another healer. That'd be awkward if it was. This little shit. Look at this fucker. So this is the Pelagos dude. You're supposed to look at him. I looked at him there, but obviously not for long enough. But we didn't actually get the buff. It's like 10% int and stamina. It's really good. But yeah, little bastard expired. I thought that I had got that until I watched it back. I was like, wait, no, I didn't. And here we're just... I just had PI. I forgot that I'd keybound my PI to just PI, just for convenience sake, to PI just myself. So I meant to PI, I think, one of the other healers, but I accidentally PI'd myself. It's like, okay, well, might as well just do this. We got this gateway, a redundancy gateway here. The other gateway goes lengthways to help snap the chains. That redundancy gateway, actually, though, coming in pretty clutch. Because right there I hadn't seen where the thing was going to be, and I was in a really bad spot. So yeah, we're able to take the gateway to escape, and I mean, that's pretty much it. Boss gonna die. Do a bit of a ramp up here at the end, and there you go. That was Mythic Soulrender. Not too bad. I mean, if you look at in terms of the logs, I think we did okay, like 56. That's fine, whatever. But you can see like the healing spikes. So this is like the overall healer, so I think it's pretty good distribution. I think this fight is, obviously, I think it's definitely 4 healable, though it's very tricky, and it's not really very strict DPS check, so safer to 5 heal. And again, if we look at what we're doing here, so we got the big spikes for the boons, and then the smaller spikes for these. Like this, probably messed this one up a bit. We probably could have healed more there, for example, but I guess maybe it's just no PI. But yeah, there you go. That was healing on disc on Soulrender Dormazain. Hope that was helpful. Let me know if it was, and I'll see you next time for Painsmith. Whenever we kill that one, it's a bit of a wall, so we'll see. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.